I wish he was as smart as I knew he was that night. He just was so smart, and he just made a mistake that night. And I would have never guessed in my whole life that it would have been Chase. It just shocked me when it happened. And it still shocks me from this day that it happened. It's hard to see my parents cry every night and see how many lives Chase touched. But I guess if it changes one reaction or thought for one person, then Chase's mistake would go learned from, and it would be better than no one. I just hope more people learn that it is a big mistake when you drink and drive, because it affects your family and friends more than you think it will. I remember one time me and Carly were up in my room, and we were looking down this vent that connects mine and Chase's room. And I remember Chase being down there with his girlfriend, and we were spying on him. And me and Carly were just giggling, and then Chase and his girlfriend noticed that we were spying on him. And he grabbed this huge super soaker, and he put it against the vent when me and Carly moved away from the vent giggling. And right when we looked back, we got super soaked all over our face. And we just started laughing, and then we started doing it again after Chase told us to stop. And then all of a sudden you could hear Chase running up the stairs, and he came to get me and Carly. And me and Carly were freaking out, and we put my bed mattress on top of us so we could not get wet. And my whole room was soaked, including me and Carly. And Chase would always try to get you back if you tried getting him on something. This is how he was. He thought it was funny. And on April Fool's Day, we had this thing going on where I put toothpaste on a phone, and I told him in the morning that he had a phone call. So he ended up putting the toothpaste phone against his ear, and he got mad at me, and he got me back and put toothpaste on my light switch, and I told him I was going to put toothpaste on the toilet seat when he went to the bathroom. And we always had that stuff going on, and we had this competition to see who could get our name in the newspaper the most. So every time I'd get my name in the newspaper for volleyball, I'd print it off on the internet and make my name in bigger letters than anything else was. I'd copy it a whole bunch of times, and I'd tape them all over his room, over all the posters that were in there. And he'd think he was so tough because instead of having a name in the newspaper, he brought home trophies. So it was pretty much a slap in the face for me. But Chase and I always had these competitions going, and I guess what siblings don't. But me and Chase were pretty close. We always hunted together. We did fishing. He was pretty much my buddy when it came to that stuff, but otherwise we couldn't stand each other. He would always let me get a first elk before he would. He'd always let me reel in his fish because he knew I never got any. And he'd always think of others before himself. And that's why I think it so shocks me that he's gone, because he was such a generous kid and he always thought of others before himself. And I don't have the answers why, and I don't think I ever will. But I think Chase was here to change people's lives. And I think that he did a pretty good job with the 21 years he was here. And he definitely impacted my life and my family's. He helped me think of life differently. He let me see how fun stuff can be and when it's time to be serious and things you shouldn't say to your parents, and he was the greatest big brother I could have asked for. Life without Chase today is pretty tough. We almost go home crying every night, cry ourselves to sleep almost. It definitely gets me to take advantage of life. It gets me to see things in a different way. It definitely gets me to value the people around me. Our house isn't too much fun without him. It's really quiet. Sometimes the quiet gets to you. And it's almost like we're at a pattern. Well, I'll be doing good in the house, and then we all come crashing down to have something to remind us of Chase. It's weird seeing his room empty. It's weird seeing an empty spot in the driveway. And it's hard seeing my mom so upset when she helped him grow up, and gets me to feel bad for her. And my dad and my brother were really, really close. It gets me to feel bad for my dad because Chase was my dad's other half. Chase definitely had a lot more patience for me than my dad ever did, and I feel bad that my family has to go through this, and I know Chase feels bad too, and I wish he could take it back, but he can't, and it's definitely changed my life. For me, being younger, I had to grow up without a brother, and being an only child is pretty tough. And not having someone to pick on me all the time. And not having anyone to pick on. It's just, I wish he was still here because I needed him. And I guess all we can do is ever miss Chase. Wish we never had to, but it's not really our choice. But we keep going on with life. But it feels like just yesterday I was talking to him and riding four-wheelers with him and getting a Christmas tree. It felt like just yesterday. But it feels like it was years that I've seen him. It was just a feeling that can't really be explained. I hope you all learn that it impacts the family a lot, and it is a big mistake, and I hope you guys learn from my brother, because I wouldn't want another family to go through what my family has gone through. So if you guys think that it won't happen to you, it can. Because I wouldn't have thought that it would have happened to our family. So just don't make the mistake my brother did. And love the people around you.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more